What is up, guys? It is Joe. We're back. We're talking all about the Cats, specifically football this time, as we discuss another big name in the transfer portal. Someone that hit the portal, and instantly my brain said, this man's a Wildcat. And I know you can think that about everybody. You see a big name player and you say, this guy's a Wildcat. I want him on my team. This is different. There's an immediate connection, an immediate thought process, and an immediate need on our end, as well as an immediate need elsewhere. So something to discuss in today's video. If you saw the thumbnail, you know I'm talking about a dude from North Dakota State. We're going to talk about a player from the Bison today, but before I do, let me show you something this time, guys. Not even just tell you to subscribe. If you're interested, do that. But check out this bad girl. My guy, Josh War, hooked it up. Look at this thing. I know it's backwards for you. I'll put a picture up here so it's, right side forward, but I got this custom helmet designed by my guy, Josh War. That's Josh_War, W-A-R-R on Twitter. He does a lot of custom designs for teams across the Big 12, and I got it in the mail, and I cannot wait to hang it up on the merch wall behind me. We got a lot of green behind me. This is going to be a centerpiece. This thing looks beautiful, and if you want something for yourself, you can custom design something. You can ask for, a demo, whatever the case is. Go talk to my boy and get it figured out, because I basically said, hey, I love the Power Cat. Give me something fresh. Let me get my cat script across the helmet, white helmet. I want something that I dream that the team will one day wear. We'll see if that bridge gets crossed. But a beautiful piece from my guy Josh Ward. If you want something like this for yourself, go check him out on Twitter. I've got it linked in the description. But let me jump in here and talk about the player I'm going to mention in today's video. That's my guy Cole Wisniewski. Now, Cole Wisniewski is an FCS All-American from 2 seasons ago at North Dakota State. This isn't new news to you guys in the sense that you didn't know this, but Chris Kleiman's former school, North Dakota State. Chris Kleiman has a perfect success record of pulling guys to North Dakota State and turning them into all Big 12 caliber dudes, sending them on their way to the NFL. This position makes perfect sense. Cole Wisniewski is a 6'4", 220 safety for North Dakota State who led the team in interceptions and broke the single-season record of 8 interceptions in his last season on the field. Now, he didn't play all this year. That's the first thing I want to mention. Had some foot issues. I think it was a foot surgery in August, so he didn't play this season. But the dude's back and hungrier than ever. And folks, his name, his team, his position, everything screams Kansas State. It is a perfect fit for both sides, and let me explain about this why. In his career at North Dakota State, he finished with 117 total tackles, 5 pass breakups, 1 forced fumble, and 8 interceptions. But hold on, folks. I just said 8 interceptions in 1 season. That is not a typo. The man finished his last season with 88 total tackles, 1 forced fumble, and 8 picks, as well as a return touchdown that was exciting to see. He also shared in kick return duties in both 2022 and 2023, so he's an absolute athlete in the secondary, and he fits the perfect vacancy because if you think about it, Marquise Siegel, who we will talk about here in just a second, is headed to the NFL, going to be drafted, probably a 4th or 5th round pick if I had to take a guess. Marquise Siegel's going to the league and he's going to make a lot of money there as a successful NFL player, similar to his counterpart Josh Hayes, who we'll also talk about here in a sec. The dude is a perfect jack safety in a Coach Klanderman-led defense, an athlete, side to side. The dude does not miss tackles. If you go out and watch his highlights, I'll link some in the description. If you go watch him, he doesn't get shook in the open field, and his closing speed is ridiculous. His pursuit is a 900 on a Madden 99 rating scale. But the perfect part about all this, because, I know that if you think about an offensive player, some people will question the offensive coordinator. If you think about this, there's always a setback. This position at Kansas State is one you need. You need a stud at this position, a guy who can be a veteran and lead your defense. This is that perfect dude. On his end, you think about this. What is most college football players' goal? Go to the NFL, have success, have a coaching staff that loves me, and a family aspect. Folks, every single thing across the board is perfect for this parent. And Kansas State isn't a stranger to going to the FCS level and pulling out a stud and teaching him, Big 12 football, getting adjusted to the speed, and then running off. Easton Kilty this year should be a first-team All-Big 12 left tackle. Dude did not miss a beat. After 4 years at North Dakota, same state, comes to Kansas State and is a stud. I already mentioned Marquise Siegel, and trust me, I'll talk about it a little bit more, but there are so many guys that we've had a successful track record of from pulling from a different school, getting them up to speed, and they are absolute difference makers. Specifically, these 2 guys I want to mention, Josh Hayes, Marquise Siegel. Marquise Siegel and Josh Hayes, both former North Dakota State players in the secondary at North Dakota State, transferred to play for Chris Kleiman at Kansas State. It's a very similar system to what they run at North Dakota State. Chris Kleiman's ties are absolutely all over that program. They play hard. They don't make mistakes. They're physical. They do things the right way. They don't beat themselves. You have to beat them. Conveniently enough, Marquise Siegel, a former teammate of Cole Wisniewski. Siegel spent his freshman and sophomore years at North Dakota State and then transfers to K-State in 2023. We all know that on the channel, but just as a quick recap, Marquise Siegel's numbers in his 2-year career at Kansas State. 118 tackles, 15 pass breakups, and 4 interceptions. Josh Hayes, who spent his first 2 years at North Dakota State, went to Virginia, didn't play much, comes to Kansas State. Had 73 stops, 7 pass breakups and 1 forced fumble, and was a fan favorite. The pipeline from North Dakota State to Kansas State has been incredibly profitable for both sides, as Josh Hayes, picked in the 6th round, is a starter for Tampa Bay right now and has had some really good moments, had 7 tackles against the Chiefs. And Marquis Siegel is going to be an NFL prospect, already is an NFL prospect, I should say, but going to be a successful NFL athlete. Cole Wisniewski fits the next step in that road, the next path, the next brick in the foundation. This is the guy you pursue. This is the guy you want. He fits what Chris Klieman does. He wants the toughness. He wants the cerebral type players, but he also wants dudes with chips on their shoulder, guys that want to compete and show up and work their tails off. Wisniewski is cut from that exact same cloth. And in terms of a Kansas State fan, you want stability back there. You want an athlete back there, a leader back there. If you watch his highlights, you see exactly how he'd fit in. The dude sideline to sideline closes out immediately. Doesn't matter if it's an end around or a slant across the middle. The dude is all over all the time. Also at 6'4", 220, his size is off the charts. You could toss him in at a Sam linebacker if you needed him to drop down. Granted, Kansas State's pretty full at the linebacker spot, and there's going to be athletes like Austin Romaine out there who would form an absolute dynamic duo with our guy Cole Wisniewski back there. But to take it one step further in terms of the North Dakota State pipeline to Kansas State, I'm not even going to stick to just the Bison here, but hear me out on this. Chris Klieman has been an absolute king of finding guys in the portal, bringing them to Kansas State for 1 or 2 years in the secondary, turning them into studs, or not even just turning them into, but developing them, giving them a second chance, teaching them different fundamentals than they'd previously had, and they take it and they run with it. They go to have NFL careers. Hear me out on this. Marquis Siegel, going to be drafted. Kobe Savage, now at Oregon, going to be drafted. Had a ton of success, both those dudes at Kansas State. Josh Hayes, a fan favorite, a dude I wish we had for more than 1 year. Reggie Stubblefield, the sauce boss. I mean, what are we talking about? And then Russ Yeast to round it out. And that's not even considering DBs. You've got guys like Julius Brents. You've got Echo Boydo that came up through Chris Klieman. You have so many good players in those rooms that have beautiful futures because their head coach is a defensive-minded guy. A dude that played defensive back in his college career, understands the process. And something that may just be an added bonus, I don't know if it actually works into the recruiting too much, but you've got Devin Klieman there who's at North Dakota State's, that's Chris Kleiman's son. He's coaching at North Dakota State, as well as Gene Taylor's son who's also there. I don't know Gene Taylor's son's name. That's apologies on my end, but the point of what you're seeing here is Cole Wisniewski fits a need. He fits perfectly. And on his end, he gets a beautiful spot for 1 year of college football to go to the NFL and be successful and be the leader of this defense. Because you think about the change, these guys go from, in Josh Hayes' case, North Dakota State, Virginia, Kansas State. Then he's a top 3 tackler on your team on defense and a fan favorite. Marquis Siegel, one of the most cerebral players Chris Kleiman's ever had, talks about it saying, this is one of the best safeties I've ever coached. In 2 years with the program, you knew he was an NFL caliber safety, and meeting him face-to-face at Big 12 Media Days, the dude is so mature, so cool, and I wish nothing but his success. And having that in your back pocket as former teammates to say, hey, I'm heading on, let me tell you about my experience. Let me tell you what this is like. And show that firsthand. That's got to be the perfect blueprint as to what I want in college football. I would hope the same for Cole Wisniewski, but I know there's always a ton of different things that go into these recruitments, and everybody in the country is going to want him. It just feels like a perfect situation for both sides. So I wanted to talk about Cole Wisniewski. Please go watch some highlights on the kid because he can absolutely ball out. I think he'd be a perfect fan favorite dude once he gets to Manhattan. A 6'4", 220 dude, sideline to sideline, hitting everybody. A stud in coverage, 8 interceptions as a junior. He's also athletic enough to return kicks at that big of a size. This dude would be such a stud and such a great addition for Chris Klieman. You just have to love the situation. And folks, most of these videos I make are mostly informative and they're less, I want this dude to come here per se, or like trying to recruit this dude. If you have time, go on social media, react to the kid's post. Go show him the love from Kansas State, because I know that no one's going to commit here because just, oh, I got a lot of comments on my post. No one's going to ever commit because of that reason. But if you have something in the back of your mind saying, dang, this fan base showed out for me, and if I'm on the fence, any subliminal thing you can get to tip the tides in your favor, that's a great thing. So be sure and check out our guy Cole Wisniewski on social medias. Thank you all for the support on the channel as we continue through the transfer portal. It's going to be a lot of content, so please do not get tired of the transfer portal content. But we'll talk more here in a day or two, folks. But that's going to do it for today's video. Thank you all for all the love and support, and I will talk to you soon. Go Cats!